Good morning, everyone. I'm Josh Maxwell. At 6 a.m. on this morning, we are up with you, and like some of you, probably slightly caffeinated. For those of you who are starting your day early, we do want to go back to Padre Island. The Island Sandbox Beach Bar is now open for drinks, food, and fun. Alcohol sales are falling, and it's hitting Texas bars and restaurants hard. Port Aransas police are investigating a shooting that happened around midnight near beach marker 20. Now, according to our partners at the Port Aransas South Jetty.
That does go together.
See, the Whataburger honey butter chicken biscuit sandwich, that's where honey belongs on. We are following breaking news out of South Korea, where at least 167 people are dead following a plane crash.
Oh, those are some really sweet ones.
I definitely like the PTO one for sure. Definitely need to use more of that. The current game room ordinance is 25 pages long. As you can see, with all the rules and regulations, there are still some areas that they want to tighten up on. In fact, I want to show you just how far these efforts are going. If you look over here and you see those splotches of orange in the background, those are actually investigators who brought dogs to see if they could get any traces of Caleb's whereabouts. That wind did play a large factor, and it managed to turn the fire into what you can see right behind me. Governor Greg Abbott set to address this room full of business owners in just under 30 minutes. District leaders say tools like AI can help with student engagement. For example, ChatGPT, give me a short math equation using Taylor Swift album cover names.
Let Speak Now be S's 2010 and Red be R 2012.
The simulation having all the bells and whistles that officers typically see when they're behind the wheel. I want to show you one piece of material that residents can pick up as they walk inside. Here in this exhibit hall, you can see a lot of that work paying off in the grading process. If you come in here this way, you'll actually see where all the action is happening. You can see these barbers hard at work, kind of just getting those cuts, getting those reps in. As we've reported all week, it is very hot, and the Blood Center will be happily accepting donations. But what I really want to show you guys is this very swag-tastic shirt you'll get to walk away with once you donate. And I don't know about you guys, but I love me a good shirt, and especially I love me a good light-colored shirt. Very spring, very fashion-forward, especially because God knows it's hot as fish grease out here. One word to describe today, and that is support. Something you can see on the top of this CCPD cruiser as multiple people have left roses, heartfelt notes, and even bags to honor the memory of Officer Kyle Hicks. Now, from the last time I spoke with you guys at 5 o'clock, I've seen countless members of the community come up to pay respects to Hicks and his family, leaving these decorative flowers, these red, white, and blue ribbons, and just honoring the memory that he was to the Corpus Christi Police Department and the community as a whole. Now, I do want to speak with you about the procession and how we saw it from our vantage point at the Corpus Christi International Airport. Our cameras were there as we saw first responders come in and escort the body of fallen Officer Kyle Hicks as he will be transported to Dallas, where they will begin his organ harvesting process. You could also see from that video of officers blocking off portions of the road to allow officers to better escort him to his flight to Dallas. Now, coming up on 3 News at 10, I will also give you a more in-depth report of that process and how Officer Hicks' final act of service will help give someone a better chance at life. But for now, reporting live from the Corpus Christi Police Department headquarters, Josh Maxwell, 3 News.
They were quick for the eviction notice, but they're not quick for hot water.
It's a resource that's readily available, but some residents at the Sterling apartment complex off Airline Road who did not want to go on camera say it's been a waiting game.
It's never really been hot. Like, it warms up, but it just stays like lukewarm. Like, we've been boiling water for baths.
But she isn't the only one who's been impacted.
I have to wash my dishes in cold water, and it's a hassle.
So in situations like these, what can renters do? It's a question Better Business Bureau Director of Education Katie Gallen says all starts with knowing your rights as a renter.
So your landlord, whether that's from an apartment or you're renting a home from somebody, they typically, the state of Texas, it generally gives a time frame of about 7 days.
Gallen says understanding that time frame can actually save you headaches in the long run.
Your air condition, your heating, your water, those types of things that we need, to live every day. Those repairs need to be made within 7 days. But there are some steps that you need to take in order for those repairs to be made.
City of Corpus Christi Assistant Director of Compliance Tracy Cantu says that code enforcement also plays a pivotal role when it comes to property management.
Hot water not being provided. There is a requirement for there to be hot water facilities in all buildings.
Cantu says that if renters have a complaint, they can report it to the city's 311 app. Once it's in the system, her team can begin their investigation.
A notice, a correction notice to the property owner, advising them that they have time to, and giving them the opportunity to correct those violations.
But until those investigations are done, residents say they can only hope that things get better.
Taking a cold shower sucks, but I think I care more about the children that live here and the elderly that live here.
Now, 3 News did receive a statement from the apartment complex that reads in part, "Our team is actively working to address a limited number of units that do not currently have heat. Corrosive plumbing lines, which can be common with a property of this vintage, have affected a small number of units."
At the top for us tonight, cell phone video of an arrest by Corpus Christi police officers raising questions about excessive force. That arrest happening last night. A couple capturing the video near the Wells Fargo at the intersection of Airline and SPID.
Our Josh Maxwell spoke with that couple along with CCPD about the fine line that often has to be walked when officers need to gain control of a non-compliant individual. He's here now with tonight's top story. Josh?
3 News counted at least 17 punches in the 49-second video. Officers can be seen yelling at the man to stop resisting. The couple who shot the video told me that based on what they saw, they considered it to be excessive in nature.
Oh, well, that's excessive.
An anonymous couple getting a front row seat to a sight they never thought they'd witness.
To see it happen in real life, it was just crazy.
The couple watching the arrest in this parking lot off Airline and SPID. They say that while they noticed the man was not being compliant with police, they felt there could have been a better way to de-escalate the situation.
You do have to do some kind of maneuvers to get him, but to the point of where there's 3 men on top of 1 and 2 out of the 3 are punching and kneeing the guy, I just don't see how that is okay.
Corpus Christi Police Lieutenant Erica Gonzalez says that officers are taught various tactics in the academy on how to handle arrests, one of those being what are called compliance strikes.
So there's a variety of different what we call compliance techniques that officers are trained in and they learn in the academy. So we would call that a compliance strike. So again, there's a variety, you know, of what we would call compliance strikes.
But Gonzalez says officers often have to assess situations quickly and take everything into account when thinking about the safety of others and themselves.
You see the video, you see the male on the ground and it appears he's reaching for something. At that point, officers don't know what he has.
And in their line of work, the act of being caught off guard can prove to be deadly.
The subject did end up having a knife right within his reach where they observed him reaching.
Josh Maxwell, 3 News.
Well, we go now to Falfurrias, where they are in the process of getting their first ever urgent care clinic. It's going to help serve the rural community's growing need for more accessible health care. Our Josh Maxwell got to see the work site where the clinic is going up, and he joins me live now with that story. Josh?
Leslie, going out to Falfurrias today myself, the drive was over an hour. Now, that's a reality that many in the Brooks County area face when seeking health care, something this new urgent care is aiming to fix. When you walk into the former Bells, a shell of what it used to be, riddled with foam and cardboard. Loose wire draped the ceiling and construction tools line the walls. City of Falfurrias Public Affairs Officer Raymond Rodriguez says the building is getting ready to serve a special purpose.
They want an urgent care facility. It's something that the city doesn't have, and we need it.
A need Rodriguez says is as clear as the writing on the windows.
For example, somebody has a cardiac episode. They'll be able to help them here.
Over at the Las Palmas Veterinary Hospital, Dr. Mike Vickers may treat animals, but the seasoned veterinarian also has to seek treatment for himself.
Slammed by a cow here a few weeks ago.
And he's got stories.
And EMS came out to check me out. They thought I was dying.
Vickers knowing firsthand how difficult it can be to find health care in rural areas like Brooks County, saying the urgent care could be a closer stop for many.
People from Hebbronville would come. People from Encino, 24 miles south, would come. People from Fremont, which is right up the road here, they also don't have a medical doctor.
An issue Rodriguez says forces residents to have to travel even in a pinch.
If there's an emergency, you got to go to Kingsville or Alice. Sometimes they're taken in an ambulance, and we've had people that are transported by a helicopter.
Rodriguez says the city has completed the architectural stage of the project and can move on to the building stage. He says since they're still trying to secure contractors, a specific timeline for the project isn't available just yet, but we will keep you updated. Leslie, back to you. Over the past few weeks, I spoke with people who work, worship, and worry about lawmakers' plans for that area. They tell me that throughout all the industrialization, the one thing that has been consistent throughout all of this is change. Belief. A concept rooted in the spirits of many Northside churchgoers.
Pretty large membership. I believe that God has sustained this church for this long, and I think He'll continue to do that.
Associate Pastor Clarence McGill says St. Matthew has been a pillar in the Northside community for over 150 years.
With the bridge, and then, we start to see a little decline. It's because people have decided, it's easier more convenient to stay at home and worship.
That bridge, that construction of that bridge, which is not completed yet, has devastated the community in so many lives.
Gwendolyn Coleman is the owner of Unity Chapel Funeral Home. It sits on Sam Rankin Street just past Ayers Park. But more importantly, it neighbors the new Harbor Bridge project, something she says has put a major strain on her business.
They cut off certain areas into our community. There were some mornings I didn't know how I was going to get to my own office.
I miss it when I see that it's not a community anymore.
Former Hillcrest resident Maurice Wilson was one of many residents offered a buyout to leave the neighborhood when the new Harbor Bridge project got underway.
I knew as the port grew, plants, refineries grew, being on only less than 100 yards from an international port, the value of that property is endless. And I know it was a matter of time. I know that property is world-class property adjacent to the port.
Work officially got started on the bridge in 2016. David Loeb served on Corpus Christi City Council back when the project was being planned.
This is the largest construction project we've ever had in this community.
He acknowledged the hardships the project could cause, but said the decision was rooted in sound judgment.
It's not a fun thing to live through, but the old bridge is going to wear out and needed to be replaced.
For Pastor McGill, his church is being forced to adapt, seeking new ways to outreach to the community.
I think we're starting to grow a little bit. I see growth because we've had to change the way we do things based on the bridge.
Hillcrest's evolution from a thriving Black community to a near ghost town has been a story decades in the making. As industries gobbled up properties and tore down homes, the new Harbor Bridge is now perhaps the most visible symbol of that change, but it's not the sole cause of it. Now, TxDOT did decline our on-camera interview, but it did point us to studies, neighborhood outreach, and resource guides it's produced in the past. We'll link to those on KIITV.com. Back to you.